Hello, students of class 9. Today we are going to see chapter 2, the Vedic period. So, this chapter we have already discussed in our previous class. Today we are going to see allied Vedic literature. So, first one, the Vedangas. Vedangas, they deal with the ways in which the Vedas ought to be chanted, how to chant the Vedas or say the Vedas, and are thus important in the understanding of the Vedas. The six Vedangas deal with pronunciation, grammar, etymology, metrics, and astronomy. Next point is the Shutras. They are divided into three groups. The Shrota Shutras, which deal with yajna and sacrifices. The Griha Sutra and Smrata Sutras, they deal with the ceremonies connected with the family, and Dharma Sutras, which provide rules of conduct for the various classes of people and various stages in their life. Next, we'll see the Upavedas. As the name suggests, they are subsidiary Vedas. There are four in number. First one, Ayurveda, deals with Indian system of medicine. Next, the Dhanurveda deals with the art and warfare. Gandharva Veda describes the art and music, and Shilpa Veda deals with the art and architecture. Next is Darshanas. There are six schools of Indian philosophy known as Shad Darshanas. Shad means six. So, six Darshanas, six schools. They are Nyaya Darshana, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva, Mimamsa, and Uttara Mimamsa. They all propagate the virtues of life and are opposed to external rituals. Next, we'll see Dharma Shastras. So, Dharma Shastra means the law books are called Dharma Sutras, and the Smritis together with the commentaries are called Dharma Shastras. They lay down the duties of different classes of people as well as for kings and their officials. Manusmriti gives the description of Hindu codes of law, including the Varnas and Ashramas. So, about Varnas and Ashramas, we are going to study in our coming chapters in class division. Okay. Next, we'll see the Ashtadhyayi. It is a treatise on Sanskrit grammar written by Panini. Information is given about the roots of the words, like the meaning of the words are given in Ashtadhyayi, and the context in which they were used in Vedic literature. Next, we'll see the epics. So, how many epics are there? There are two important epics are there, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, first we'll see Ramayana. The Ramayana was originally composed in Sanskrit The Sanskrit version is said to be the work of Maharshi Valmiki. So I hope everyone know the story of Ramayana. So I am not going in detail story of Ramayana. So here you can see the story of Ramayana revolves around Rama and the abduction of his wife Sita by a demon king Ravan. Then you can see the battle between Ram and Ravan take place, and duty, devotion and love shown by brothers is told in detail. Okay. So next we'll see about Mahabharat. Another great epic is Mahabharat. Mahabharat believed to be the work of sage Vyasa, and it is also written in Sanskrit language. Originally it was called Jaya, or the collection dealing with victory. So Jaya means victory. So here you can see Pandavas getting victory in the war, isn't it? Subsequently, it came to be known as Bharata because it also contains the stories of descendants of one of the earliest Vedic tribes called Bharat. Finally, complication came to be known as Mahabharat. So in the Mahabharat only you can see important part is there, that is called the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is one of the most popular religious texts considered as the sacred by many people in India. So even if we are in some trouble or conflict and all, if we open the Bhagavad Gita, so it is said that we'll get answer for our trouble. That is the secret of the undying popularity of this religious text. It teaches that the soul is immortal. Next we'll see the importance of epics. So the epic serves as the main source of the information on the political institutions and the social and cultural organization of the epic age. Okay, so it gives information about the political institution and social and cultural organs of epic age. Next, they provide information on various Aryan kingdoms, their armies, their weapons. Then the Kshatriyas were entrusted with the defense of their kingdom, and they believed that death on the battlefield was the noblest act in the life of the warrior. So that is, a warrior, if he dies in the battlefield, it was said that he got a Veeragati or a Veer Mrityu. Next is that the epics are considered as the finest literary works of the ancient period and are acclaimed for their literary and philosophical work. They reveal the high ideals of family life of Aryans. The great heroes depicted in the epics are the embodiment of high moral principles and made a great impact on successive generations. The Bhagavad Gita elaborates the karma, philosophy, and the immortality of the soul. So today we'll complete this topic. I hope this topic is clear to you all. So children, go through the chapter once again. Thank you. Have a nice day.